So part two on service mode on this machine, we're going to go over the temperature recall aspect of this control board. This thing will give you up to 2 weeks of temperature memory on it, on each of the 4 sensors on it. So when a customer's like, well, a week ago this thing warmed up, well, now it's working fine, but a week ago it wasn't working fine, so you want to pull back to that point in time and see what the deal was at that point. These things are beautiful for that operation. So let's get this thing into service mode. We're holding colder, then unit on off. So now we're into our temperature sensors. So what you want to do is pick the sensor. So the customer's talking about the freezer was having a problem a week ago on this machine, for example. So let's go to our freezer air temperature, which is right there. When you're there, hit warmer, then unit on off. And now we're into 2 weeks worth of data. What it gives you is every 2 hours the average of what that sensor was seeing. There's a couple other unique facets to this. So let's back it up. That's 2 weeks ago. We were at 4 degrees in that freezer. Right now we're at 2 degrees in that freezer. So this will give you a backup of every 2 hours. So that bell, what that bell's telling us is that nearly 2 weeks ago this thing was unplugged. If you get that bell symbol, that means somebody actually physically unplugged this machine. So let's scroll through here, as I know on the other end of things. Going over to this point, there's a bell, somebody unplugged it. This is a showroom machine. This is our shop. We've been fussing with it, getting it ready for resale. So there's a service indicator. So the service indicator, 14 segments ago, so roughly 28 hours ago from today, somebody hit the unit on off. So this thing was sitting there off for 2 hours in the process of whatever we were doing with the machine. So going back, we're looking good. So this is, obviously we have somebody was shutting it off and the thing got unplugged 22 segments ago. So we ran up to 38 degrees inside of the freezer on this machine. It makes sense, the thing was unplugged and shut off. So going back, temperature's pretty stable. It's likely the machine was set for probably 2 degrees for it to be sitting at 2 degrees most of the time. You open up the door in the machine, you may end up warming up your average temperature. That's not totally abnormal on one of these machines, but this gives you a pretty good gauge of what was happening over the course of all this time. It's a beautiful feature, and you're able to drive back all the way 2 weeks. You gotta break out the calculator and get yourself, to that point where you need to be. So whatever it was, a week ago, if a customer is asking you that there was a problem with it, then you can drive it back to that point. So neat feature. It will kick out of that mode after about a minute.